All right, everyone. Hello, we are live. Hello, welcome to the new episode of Pastrami Nation, the first one of the new year. We are excited to get this year started off right. A lot of cool things happening this year so far. We'll see how the year goes, but so far, so good. I hope you all are doing good. Hope you all have safe and happy holidays. New Year's didn't go too crazy or anything like that. On today's show, we're going to be talking about some news that dropped today concerning some certain casting for The Last of Us. We'll be talking about some Star Wars news. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Golden Globes, and then we're going to be talking about the Iron Claw, which Jason and Christian have seen now. And then we're going to be talking about our three most anticipated movies of the year, 2024, brand new year. A bunch of new movies coming out, so we're going to talk about some of those a little bit later on. But right now, I'm Kevin, and joining me today, as usual, co-founder of Pastrami Nation, Mr. Jason Smith. How you doing today, sir?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, doing pretty good. And of course, my son Eli right here. He's here once again. Hello. How's it going?
Good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And of course, Godfather of Toys, Mr. Christian Nacorda. How are you?
Doing good. Feeling good. Feeling better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. That's good to hear. Well, remember, to all you watching, make sure, join in on the conversation. Let us know some of your favorite, most anticipated movies of the year, on what you think of some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. Make sure to like and subscribe wherever you're watching this or checking this out. That really, really helps us out a lot. And we love it. We love the attention. So send it our way. We'd love to be seen by as many people as possible. Because even if you're not into it particularly, one of your friends might be, who knows? So always helps us get in front of more eyes. So guys, this week, it's been a crazy week. One of the big things, specifically Eli wanted to talk about was Tetris. Let's talk a little bit about Tetris. This 13-year-old, I forget his name, the first person ever
in its 35 years
to ever complete Tetris.
Nice.
He did this last week. He hit the 9,999.
999,999.
Yeah, he hit that score, which is no one's ever gotten that far, which kind of surprised me. But it's true. He showed what kind of happens when you finish Tetris and it just stops. Like it freezes, it just stops. And that's how you know that Tetris was beat. It's pretty cool. Congratulations. I think that's a pretty cool feat. All of us, we grew up with Tetris. We know Tetris. And I got far, but never that far.
No.
I mean, I know there was a huge craze. My dad was obsessed. For years of my childhood, I just remember him good night, Dad. He's like, okay, click on the computer. And then the next morning, did you guys ever get that deep into Tetris, on the Game Boy? Or
I had the Game Boy.
I had you guys remember those Nintendo watches?
Oh my God.
My mom got me one of those for Christmas. My brother got the Mario. I got the Tetris one. And nice. I finished that one. I was like, woohoo, I finished the game. And then come to find out the actual Nintendo game is way longer.
Oh, yeah, it's
than my little watch,
It's insane. It's a game that pretty much never ends. So that's
awesome. Well, until now.
I mean, it did till now. Congrats. The kids.
It's addicting, though. It's very addicting.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So congratulations, and we're gonna look up his name just so we can give him a little shout out. Not that he needs the attention even more.
His name was Justin McTetris.
Justin Bieber. Willis Gibson. 13 years old, man. Congratulations. What's up, man? Happy New Year. Nice to see you. So I've had this on my mind all day. I need to talk about these two things because both of these things have been weighing heavily on my mind. So The Last of Us TV series has found its Abby for season 2. That Abby is an actress named Caitlin Dever. She's going to be portraying Abby in season 2 of The Last of Us. So of course I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I think Caitlin Dever is incredible. I've loved her in everything I've seen her in. I thought she was great in Booksmart. No One Can Save You, I thought was really, really fun this year. But she, she's done a lot. She was on The Last Man Standing, the Tim Allen TV show for a while. That was kind of where she got her start, or that's where kind of people started to know her from. Anyway, she was cast as Abby in The Last of Us today. I love the casting. I think it's fantastic, but I already feel sorry for her.
Oh, for sure.
I think we all know the obvious thing that's going to happen.
Yes. And I think it's so first of all, anyone watching or listening, be nice to Caitlin. She's just an actress, right?
Yeah.
Like she's just an actress. And some people just can't seem to differentiate the actor from the character they're playing, right? So I'm already worried for her. Unfortunately, she's going to slay it. She's going to do an amazing job. But
so Kevin, let me ask you this: how important is it to you? Mm-hmm. How important is her physique going to be to you? I know that's a crazy thing to ask.
Yeah, no, not a lot.
Really,
to be honest, I think she might bulk up a little bit, but. I mean, I know people, so her whole backstory, she's in the military or, stuff like that. This kind of, and I mean, I know people who are in the military that don't look like that, right? Like to me, that it's going to be about how she carries herself and how she plays the character. That's going to be the important thing for me. I don't think, because from what I've seen and from what I've noticed, like she's not particularly like tall or anything.
No,
right? Like she's like average height.
Yeah.
I'm
really torn because
how she plays. No, it's all about how she plays it.
I agree to an extent, but I also think that her physique in the game was such a significant part of her character and a significant part of her arc. I think her physique reflects like her mental state, because you watch her start from like this she's transformed her body, what I mean, in order to like execute her vengeance, you know what I mean, but then you see that deteriorate. By the end, it's this horrific thing.
I think that's what's going to happen, though. I think you're going to see that transformation,
right?
She has I think she's capable of getting that build, right?
I'm not usually like, I don't usually care what people look like. I think this is just one time where I was like that because it's such a significant part of her character in the game. But I also think you're right. Like it's not like a super important, like it's super doable.
But I also do see where you're coming from, right? Like, 'cause she's such a looming presence.
Right.
Like she's so like intimidating and like in all the right ways, right? Like she's exactly the character she needs to be.
Because I think that's also like the important contrast between her and Ellie, right? Because they kind of are become like the same monster, but just on the different spectrum, what I mean? And it's like, it's all about being consumed with vengeance. And like, I think her physique kind of is a part of like how she shows that like this has become like everything to her. Like this is all that matters to her, is like just executing my revenge. So I don't know. That's just me. And I also, but I'm with you. I totally get it. It's not like a huge thing, but.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I think we're going to see a lot of that happen. Though I think that she seems like I feel like in everything she does, she hasn't done anything quite like this yet, right? Where she has to kind of be up to a certain standard, I guess, and there's already expectations. But I do feel like she really commits to everything that she does. Like if you look at her filmography, she hasn't done a whole lot, but I do realize that in her filmography, it's films that are obviously that are attractive. She's not just doing whatever she needs to do to get by, right? Like she's being very smart about her choices. Like after Booksmart, she probably could have done any movie she wanted to, right? Booksmart was a big enough hit, I think, to justify, she probably got scripts left and right after that movie. I hope she did, at least, because she was amazing. So I don't see her just taking it on just because she can or just because she has to. And I do also think that she's smart enough to know what she's getting into, right? Like, I don't think anyone's going to take this role and be like, and not know what the expectations are or what the fallout of the role can be.
I love Last of Us so much, and what the show did compared to what the game was, I adore. Like
Mhm.
I felt like with what they've already had, they brought so much more to the table. It didn't take anything away. We didn't lose anything from the game. If anything, we added to it. So their casting is incredible across the board. Like, everybody that was cast in that first season I loved. So I have no issue. I don't know her
Mhm.
at all. Like, I watched some interviews with her. She seems great.
Yeah.
I do like that I don't really know. It's kind of vague in the game what the age differences between Ellie and
They're about the same age, I think, in real life. Like the actresses. No, I think Caitlyn might be a little bit older.
right. So I think like this time it seems like they're closer than the actual characters are in the game, which I think might work better for the story even.
I think so
'cause-
too.
Right. So, but yeah, I know. I'm very excited. Anything Last of Us, I'm just happy to hear some.
Yeah, and just speaking of The Last of Us, so we'll jump into our Golden Globe conversation actually real quick, because Last of Us didn't take home any of the big awards, but they did take home a few of the smaller, like the supporting actors actually got a lot of love at the technical awards that were given out before. Nick Offerman won for Best Supporting Actor for his
Yeah, that
role.
makes sense.
Yeah, and Storm Reed, who played Ellie's girlfriend in the, basically, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but yeah, she also won for
Hey,
Best
if they
Supporting
haven't seen
Actor.
Last of Us by now, then that's their fault.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they both won, so that's great to hear.
Two of the best episodes, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. But there were some pretty big winners at the show overall. Like you got Oppenheimer, obviously, we all knew that was going to win. Barbie won for Best Comedy Musical, which is amazing. They had the Best like Cinematic Achievement Award, which I thought was dumb, but hey, whatever. It's we were talking about that earlier. That really just seemed like an award just to get Taylor Swift in the audience, right? Like that's all they were trying to do, I feel like, with that one. But overall, I didn't really care for the show. We talked about it a little bit on Sunday night, but it was very
Lackluster.
Lackluster. It was very lackluster. It's the Golden Globes. Golden Globes aren't super important anyways.
It's not the Oscars.
It's not the Oscars, right? Christian, though, you had something specific that you wanted.
Yeah, I think obviously it's been a couple of days, and I know everybody. If anything, this is like old news already. But let's talk about it. Also shout out Stephen Yeun and Ali Wong. Like that's awesome.
Oh, 100% beef. Yeah.
There's just a lot of people that won that I was like really, really excited for. I love stand-up comedy. I am a huge stand-up comedy fan since I was like a little kid. I like Joe Coy. I'm not a huge fan of Joe Coy.
I generally like him as well.
Me being Filipino, I feel like I'm supposed to be obligated to like him, but here's my issue with him. His whole act is making fun of his mom's accent. You take that away and he doesn't really have anything, and it gets really old fast. So I don't like I'm not the biggest Joe Coy fan. I wouldn't have ever picked him to be the Golden Globes host. Now, it's not because I don't think he's not funny. I think he's hilarious. It's just like he was out of his realm, dude. Like he was trying to do like insult comedy, and that's not him. And like he's a really sweet, happy guy. So
I think that unfortunately came with a lot of the terror because he was only announced as a Golden Globe host 5 or 6 days before
it was about 18 days. I know he was he said that he had 10 days, but they announced it about 18 days before the Golden Globes. The bombing was one thing, but for him to be like, I didn't write all these jokes. The ones that you're laughing at, those are my jokes. But for you to throw your writers under the bus, bro, that's super lowbrow. I don't think that he ruined his career, but I definitely think he blew a huge opportunity.
Absolutely.
I feel like this was a huge chance for him to really become this next another big huge stand-up comedian, and that's just not going to happen. I don't think he's going to lose his base. No. That's going to be there, but
he's not going to be at the Golden Globes again, right?
No, well,
you don't insult Taylor Swift that way.
Don't.
It's just oh man.
No, I get it. But my thing is, A, we've said it before, the Golden Globes don't matter. Yeah. And B, that's what these shows do. That's what every single comedian that has come on these shows, they do that. It's that weird insult, roast type of comedy. Even the Oscars does that, right? and it's
That's
very
why I
much
just don't
like,
think he was the right choice.
yeah,
Because that's not his comedy. You
no,
know what I mean? Like maybe he should have like not done that. Maybe he
Right.
could have been like, I'm just so happy to be here, and like, you know, do the Andy Samberg thing. We're like, hey guys, like, you know what I mean?
oh yeah,
Like maybe do that.
just
Jim
get Conan.
Gaffigan
Let Conan
did,
do it.
yeah, Conan.
Conan's
of course.
amazing.
Jim Gaffigan had a great joke on there. You know what I mean? He was great. He would have been a great host.
Absolutely.
Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig were amazing. You know, there were a lot of like funny people who had the writers write for them, and their jokes all worked. So
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. You're going to be the butt of a joke for another week, and then
Sorry, Joe
we'll
Coy,
all
yeah.
blow over. So
he'll do stand up. He'll be fine. He'll be out
Yeah.
there on the road. So let's move into one of the least controversial things on the internet, Star Wars. Let's talk about it. Bunch of guys here just chilling, chatting about Star Wars. No one
Rito
ever
shot
does that.
first.
Yeah, right. So they just announced today that Jon Favreau will be directing a Mandalorian and Grogu feature film. You guys have the complete opposite opinion as me, apparently. So please tell me what you guys think about this before I dive into my rant.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, I've liked Favreau for a while now. I like the stuff he puts out, and like I'm a big Mandalorian fan. So I mean, I don't think it can fail. At least I hope it doesn't, but I don't think it will.
Christian, or do you want me to go?
I'm good. You can go.
No, I hate it. Yeah, I think it's dumb. I think it's like, okay. I think and back to what you said, Jason. I think it's going to fail hard. To be honest, I think it's going to do good. It's a Star Wars movie, so it's going to succeed.
But not to the point where they need it to.
I don't think it's going to succeed to the point they need it to, and I don't see the point. Favreau's amazing. Like that's the best part about it, right? And Jon Favreau directing a new movie, like a Star Wars movie, like that's amazing. That's incredible. We've seen what he can do. I love Favreau too. I'm on board with you on that. But to me, this feels like damage control from Disney and Star Wars. The last trilogy
100%.
didn't work, so they're like, "Hey, you guys like Mandalorian? You guys like this little baby Yoda guy? Let's put them in a movie together, and you guys will go see it." And I think it's going to run into the same problem that the MCU has now. Whereas you have to watch everything that the MCU has put out to understand one movie. I don't think the average viewer is watching The Mandalorian right now. I don't think the average their audience is. I think a big portion of their audience are watching The Mandalorian, but I don't think it's as big a show as, you know, in the general public as it is to us nerds, right? So I think when it comes out, there's gonna be a lot of people being like, "Who's this Mandalorian guy and who's this Grogu guy?" You know what I mean? I don't think people are going to care in the long run. That's just me. And I wish Disney would do something different. Think outside the box. Go ahead.
They're playing it super safe. Like this is they did this with Marvel, and they're doing it again with Star Wars. They're like, we have a problem. We have one solution. Pedro fucking Pascal.
See, no, and I no, they are playing it super safe, but they also try to play it super safe with the Rise of Skywalker, right? They try to backtrack everything else and be like, you know what, guy, and look how that turned out, right?
Somehow
like,
Palpatine returned.
Yeah. I'm sorry, this has been something that's been on my chest all day. And I'm like, I'm so like, I wish
I'm with you. I'm with
resources and do something different, do something new, do something fresh. But then you do something like, you know, and again, this isn't trying to start it, but like you do something like The Last Jedi, which is different and fresh for Star Wars. But people don't like it. But then again, they don't like something that's comfortable and safe, like Rise of Skywalker.
You need to find
like
middle point.
Where's the middle point? Where's the middle point? And I don't think this is it. And I feel like Star Wars fans, much like Marvel fans, are getting burnt out with the brand, right? They're getting burnt out with all the stuff coming out. And I don't think this is the way to fix it by bringing one of their Disney Plus shows from the small screen to the big screen.
Especially with the last. Now, don't get me wrong. I liked the last season, but
I
like
love Mandalorian,
I didn't like it. I want to be honest. Like I fucking loved season 2. Like season 2 was like I cried at the end of it. Yeah, and like the end of like season 3 was great. You know what I mean? But like season 2 was like so. Like if they announced this post season 2, this would have been like holy. Maybe it would have been a different story, or I would have had a different reaction. But I don't know.
Probably, and I think And it could be a hit. Like I know there's gonna be a lot of people that are excited about it, and I know it's not gonna fail, right? Like I don't think it's going to fail per se. I just don't think it's going to be the rejuvenation of the franchise that I feel like they're hoping it's going to be.
So what do you think? What do you want that to be? Like what in your mind is
I think they need to get away. I think what they need to do is give us New Hope all over again with new characters, new worlds, new things that we've never seen before. I think it needs to start fresh. I think we need to start from scratch, and I'm not saying like remake A New Hope, but you know what I mean. Like give us there's this Star Wars galaxy is massive, but we're going back to Tatooine every freaking time. Like we don't need Tatooine anymore. I'm sorry, we just don't need it. It's gone. It's done. Like move on. Let's start something fresh and new.
Well, they got to keep that familiarity, you know. Like who better than the most popular of the new? Personally, I'd like to see them dive into go to a whole world of Yodas, those kind of creatures, whatever they're called.
What are they called again?
I'm not even sure.
I don't think they've given them a name yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would like to see that planet, you know, see where that all started. Maybe it backtracks into that somewhat.
That would be cool too, though. Like something like James Mangold is supposedly working on a Old Republic.
Yeah, Old Republic.
Old Republic. Like, give us that, right? Like, give us something that we particularly haven't seen yet. And if you know, and don't connect it to characters that we know.
Please.
No more holographic Luke Skywalkers.
I don't want to see like Luke Skywalker's like great
Solo, a Skywalker, a Palpatine. I don't want to see anybody like.
It would make sense if we see characters that we know from like the Knights of the Old Republic, not from the movies that we have.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, I feel like they need to, like. Disney gets too well, listen, we love Disney here. I love Disney. I'm a big Disney fan. I know we all are. But they yes, they are in the business of making money, right? Like that's obviously they need to make money. They're putting these out for money. Like that's exactly what it is.
Got to sell those Grogu dolls.
You got to sell those, right? But I hate to use this word on here because I know this is like a big, you know, pain point for a lot of people, but I hate when they pander to people who complain about stuff and they give in. That's exactly what they did with the Rise of Skywalker, right? Like they gave in to they gave into the worst part of the fandom and said, we're not going to continue on the way we're doing it. We're going to do it the way you guys want us to do it. And I think that's dangerous. And I think this is doing more of that. It's being like, hey, we're going to give you guys what you want. Let's give you guys a Mandalorian movie, right? Instead of coming up with fresh new ideas, they're pandering to the worst part of the fandom that is bitching about everything, bitching about female characters, bitching about whatever the case may be. They're giving them exactly what they want, which is insane to me, which is just ridiculous. And that's not how you make money. And I feel like The Rise of Skywalker did that, and it suffered because of it. Mostly creatively, story-wise, it suffered hardcore. And I hate that they're doing that. And I feel like that's what they're doing right now. And they have a history of doing that as well, which I think is ridiculous. Like artists should be able to tell a story, right? They can tell a successful Star Wars movie within the universe, and it's still going to make $1 million, right? Billions of dollars. Do that.
I want a movie about the Sith Order from like during the time of the Old Republic, where the other movie is going to be set, because like the Sith are like only two when we see them in the movies, but in the Old Republic there's thousands of them.
No, absolutely, 100%. Jason Bean, I want a Cad Bane movie show. Absolutely,
we had that. It was called Boba Fett.
All right,
let's make a bounty hunter show. How about that?
The problem with making the movies is that people want to call out.
Everybody loves Tengar.
But Arturo, you should know this. It's in your name.
No, he's not bitching about it. He's just saying that's the problem with it, that people want to call out political things. They want to point out that things
I know, but people should know Star Wars is politics.
Star Wars is politics. The whole
on some tertiary stuff, there was that I forget what her name was. I know she was like one of the either showrunners, or I think she was like a writer on Miss Marvel, but she's going to be helming the new Rey movie.
Yeah.
And she announced that she was like really excited with the direction that they're going with that.
Yeah.
I really like Daisy Ridley, and I'm sad that her career kind of fizzled after the last movie. So I'm happy they're trying to give her something here. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd rather just leave that whole goddamn thing alone.
I agree.
If they can do it right, then I'm gonna be good with it. But if
just
they
beating
don't,
a dead horse at this point. Like
They
even
make
if they
it dark.
do it well, like
you guys remember those old Ewok movies, right, from the 80s?
Yeah.
Remember the second one?
Yeah. The Caravan, wasn't it Caravan of Courage or whatever it was called?
Yeah, and most of them died. Like,
what's that?
Most of the main, that girl's family all died, remember?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. But like telling new stories, even like that, like I'd be okay with. Listen, I know people crap on those movies and they're not great. Let's admit it, but they're fun. Like I'll go watch a movie based on Endor. You know what I mean? Like it's
we should make Legends material not legends anymore and make them into shows and TV and movies.
Yeah, no,
because there's a whole library of untapped resources that nobody is using.
I agree. And I think, listen, I just feel like creativity has been stifled over the last couple of years, right? You have all these artists trying to, so I'm all for, like, you know, letting artists do what they want to do, no matter how diverse, no matter what the characters are, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter their gender, their sexuality, the color of their skin, right?
As
people make it about these issues.
Right.
Yes. As long as it gets pulled off right, and people make those they focus on those as the issues, as opposed to being able to tell these stories, and it stifles the artist because they're like, we can't put that character in because this group of people are going to complain, so we have to, you know, give and take a little bit, which I think is dumb. Like
very much so. They're like the trophy kids.
Yeah, every movie reflects the artists, you know, who they are, their personality, and I think artists should be able to do that. And I think Star Wars is a world that artists should be able to do that in. You know what I mean? They should be able to tell stories that people may not be comfortable with, but that exist within the Star Wars world, right? Like they do it with things like Visions, right? We were talking about Visions. They do it really well with that. They tell stories that aren't, some of them are slightly connected to what we know. But for the most part, they're totally different, you know, ends of the corners of the universe. Which I think they need to do.
Like the Twins was amazing.
Yeah.
And so was the musical one, which was kind of surprisingly good.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You know what would be a good Star Wars movie, you guys? Battle of Endor. Maybe there's that lone surviving biker scout that's hiding out in the woods. And after all the rebels leave and everything, I mean, the Ewoks are eating the dead stormtroopers, so it's a survival mode for him. He's running.
You haven't played Star Wars Battlefront 2 then. There's an Ewok hunt mode where you play as the stormtroopers after the Battle of Endor, and they're left there trying to survive the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, how cool of a movie would that be?
Oh, dude, Lucasfilm, you heard it here first. You felt... Reach out to Jason if you want to use it. That's his idea. But no, I like that idea. But yeah, no, I just think, again, it's going to make money. And listen, I love Mandalorian. Like I said before, like Mandalorian's the only Star Wars show I've actually watched, and I love it. And I love Grogu. Grogu's adorable. But in the end, I don't know. I'm going to go see it. We're going to go see it, right? Like that's the thing. We're sitting here talking about it. I'm going to go see it. But in the end, I think they could do cooler stuff. Exactly. That's what I support, Kev. Who cares about Jen? Exactly. And that's the way it should be. People should be able to tell the stories they want to tell.
Something else about Star Wars real fast. They did announce a Ahsoka season 2 today.
Yes. It's coming out for all you fans there. I still need to finish season 1. I'm working on it. Echo dropped today too. Echo, all 6.
Echo, yes. Are they all out?
All 6.
All at once.
Binge watching.
Catching up on What If as well. We're about halfway through the season. I'm liking it so far. Liking it a lot, actually.
I like this multiverse stuff.
Yeah, the multiverse stuff is really cool. So guys, let's jump into. Let's talk about the Iron Claw, guys. You guys saw it. Jason, you just saw it. Christian, you saw it about a couple of weeks ago. What do you guys think? Go for it, guys. I haven't seen it. Eli hasn't seen it.
What is the Iron Claw?
What is he? That's a good place to start. Let's start. What is the Iron Claw?
Like,
What is the Iron Claw, guys?
the Iron Claw is Fritz von Erich's. He's a wrestler back in like the 60s, probably early 70s or whatever, and he was like a Nazi heel wrestler, and the Iron Claw was his trademark, which he'd put on their head. They'd give up and he'd
squeeze
squeeze
them into submission.
Fast forward, he has sons, Kevin von Erich, Kerry von Erich. The real last name was Atkinson, but he changed it to von Erich, and they all get into the wrestling except for the youngest one, which is Michael von Erich, who's trying to pursue music. And just they talk about the curse of the von Erichs. You see tragedy after tragedy in this movie. Me personally, I blame Fritz von Erich. That was like the asshole dad of the century.
Jesus.
Like, you don't sit there and tell your son, you're my second favorite. He's the third favorite. Like, what kind of dad does that, you know? Like, I think he is the number one cause of all the stuff that unfolded in there. And Zac Efron is so great. He nails that,
only son.
He's such a fantastic actor. Anytime I get to see him, I loved him in Mindhunter. So to get to see him again, his name is escaping me right now. Also the actress that played the mother, fantastic. Like everybody across the board, the performances were just fantastic.
Oh my God.
As soon as I walked out of that theater, my first thought was like, Zac Efron has to get a nomination for this. Like, I like just
Efron's in there.
Just what he did to his body is like should get an award because it's crazy.
Well, even Jeremy Allen White?
Yeah, Jeremy Allen White got huge for it. Like,
yeah,
both of those guys got jacked. But his both of their performances were just fantastic.
Hey, the internet trolls are being brutal. Remember the match with Harley Race?
Mm-hmm.
The internet trolls were brutal as hell. They're like, "Oh, that was cool. They cast Harley Race to play himself." I'm like, damn. Remember he was this like flabby diaper man?
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think about it though? The movie.
Oh man, it was. I knew it was going to be sad, but it was great. It was so well put together. Like, not a lot of movies make me want to cry right there. And that scene when, because I mean everybody knows Kerry von Erich killed himself, and that scene right after, when you first see him walking and he has both feet, which he was in an accident, motorcycle accident, so he lost one of his feet. So he went to the WWF as a one-legged wrestler and still succeeded and got the Intercontinental title bout. But that scene when he dies, it's just when you see him walking and both feet are there, you knew what it was leading up to, and just that was one of the most like touching, sad scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
I think it was like really beautifully done in terms of like its stillness. I think it just let you kind of just soak into a lot of these scenes and just kind of feel the atmosphere and then just feel the emotion. It's so heavy, and especially the character like Zac Efron's character. He carries so much weight on his shoulders throughout the whole movie and never complains about it once.
When he's talking to his girlfriend, remember when he's like, all of a sudden he wasn't there for me to play with anymore, when he's talking about how I'm the second oldest, really, because about the younger brother that died. I'm like, wow.
There are just some key moments that just destroyed me in this movie.
Yes.
I think at one point where the mom's getting ready for another funeral and she was like, I can't wear this. They already saw me wearing this. And she just couldn't bring herself to get dressed, like destroyed me. And then towards the end, there's a line that Kevin gives. And I don't want to give it because it's a huge spoiler, but like it just devastates. So I don't think you need to know anything about wrestling. You don't even need to like sports to watch this movie. Like it's such a like a really, really fantastic, just quiet, calm movie. There are some gorgeous shots. I think the most beautiful shot in the whole movie is in the trailer. There's a shot where he's like on the ropes and then he's like just shaking them, and then you see him do his back and forth. Just from that one shot, it's gorgeous. But yeah, there's some really strong stuff. If I had seen that before we did our list, that would have been my like number one or number two.
Oh yeah, from the top 10 of the year or top 5. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was it too. Such as the movie, there might be an Eddie Guerrero movie. So I know who was that? Like, oh my God, they were training with
Chavo Guerrero.
Chavo Guerrero, yeah.
Eddie's
for a lot
nephew,
of Eddie's nephew. So that, I mean, I would love to see an Eddie Guerrero movie.
Oh my God.
That would be so awesome. Yeah. There's so many like deep, like beautiful kind of stories throughout like the decades of like WWE. So, and like really a lot of like real tragedy. So
I think that one hit because that's kind of like when I first started watching wrestling in the early 90s. I remember the Texas Tornado. I remember him losing to Mr. Perfect and all that. And just all of a sudden in 92, I believe, or 93, when we found out he killed himself, that just kind of hits you, because you see him on TV every Saturday.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal's Eddie Guerrero, I kind of actually really like
that could probably work.
That's a good one.
So that's cool. I really want to see it. I don't know much about wrestling, but you guys got to answer me this. Is it better than the 1999 classic Ready to Rumble with David Arquette and Scott Kahn? Now tell me it's better than that and I might see it.
I'm going to go out on a limb.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes.
I don't know, man. It's Oscar worthy. I'll have to check
Jimmy
it out
King.
and find out myself.
King me.
Yeah.
That was a gimmick of a movie, but it was so great.
It was great. It was so funny.
Bill Goldberg saying, I used to look up to him. And I was like, damn.
It's so bad. It's good. Well, that's good, guys. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that one. Y'all go check it out. Let us know what you thought about the Iron Claw. I have heard a lot of rumblings about, Zac Efron, like you said, Christian, should be nominated. And that's what I've been hearing. It's such a stacked year that unfortunately, I hate to say this, I don't think he would win.
No.
But
he should be nominated still.
He should be nominated.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Well, cool, guys. Let us know what you thought. So, guys, let's talk about 2024. Let's talk about some of the big movies coming out. So before we get into our top three, what we're really excited for, I just kind of want to do a quick rundown of some of the bigger movies coming out this year. So coming up this weekend, January 12th, is it's already going to be an all-time classic, The Beekeeper, starring Jason Statham. All right, guys, this movie has potential to be absolutely nothing, and I'm not excited for it at all, but I will see it. This is one I'm excited about. So I'm not going to do like a whole, I'm just going to talk about a few ones, the bigger ones, and then we'll talk about our list. This one I find interesting. It's not on my list. Lisa Frankenstein. It's actually directed by Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter, in her directorial debut. Written by Diablo Cody.
On a credits list.
Yeah, she's amazing. So Catherine Newton, it's got Catherine Newton in it. It's got some pretty good cast, so I'm pretty excited to see that. I think that's going to be really cool. Drive Away Dolls. I don't know if you have seen this trailer, but it looks great. It's a lesbian road trip caper directed by Ethan Coen. His first, he's used to doing work with the Coen brothers with his brother, but he's doing this one solo. So it looks like it has a feel like, like not Raising Arizona, but like a Blood Simple type feel to it, which is, classic Coen brothers, which I love. Really, really excited for that. Of course, Dune Part 2, the Roadhouse remake starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Not sure how I feel about that.
I don't know about that.
Civil War, directed by Alex Garland, which looks great. Challengers with Zendaya. The Fall Guy with Ryan Gosling.
That looks pretty good.
That looks great. Directed by David Leitch, who did.
Was that Emily Blunt in there?
Yeah, Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling.
I just saw a preview for that too.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson, directed by David Leitch, Bullet Train, and John Wick, the first one. He also had a lot to do, and Deadpool. Deadpool 2, I believe he directed. Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I think that looks really cool. The only thing that bothers me about that is it looks like a lot of CGI. I hope the movie's not CGI. That's the cool thing about the Mad Max movies, is they're not very CGI heavy. But yeah, we got Ballerina, which is the John Wick spinoff, Inside Out 2, which only has a couple of the cast returning, which kind of sucks because Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling are not coming back for the sequel.
Who did they play?
They were Disgust and Fear. But they did get some pretty interesting voice actors to replace them because they sound like Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling. So
If
we'll
it
see.
works, it works.
A Quiet Place Day One is coming out. Lupita Nyong'o, who's one of my favorite people right now ever, she's going to be in it. Also from Stranger Things, Joseph Quinn, he played Eddie. And Alex Wolf.
All the chicks are going to flock to that one.
Yeah. I mean, it's not directed by John Krasinski, but I have a pretty good feeling about this.
I don't know. I didn't like the first 2 Quiet Place movies. They just didn't.
Oh, really? I liked them pretty good. I liked them.
Interesting concept.
I was thinking the whole concept of that movie. I was like, why didn't you just turn that farming machine on in the first place?
Right. And
said you let your daughter turn on that astronaut or whatever it was, and
understandable.
Son.
No, there are a lot of things in there that really don't make sense. But hey, and I don't know why people are still having kids in that world. It's like, just stop doing what you're doing to have kids. And
because the baby stays quiet, right? It doesn't cry at all,
right? Of course, Deadpool 3, untitled Deadpool movie, Alien Romulus, which looks amazing. We'll talk about that more later. Beetlejuice 2 is hitting theaters. Joker Folly Adieu. Gladiator 2, Wicked Part 1, Nosferatu, and Mickey 7,
the Universal one, right?
Yes. Mickey 17. Mickey 17, I was very, very excited about. It literally just got delayed today. Bong Joon-ho's return to movies since Parasite. Robert Pattinson as a clone. I was super excited about that. Sci-fi, really cool. It was just delayed today, though, indefinitely. No one knows why. It is a Warner Brothers movie, though, so people are already going crazy. And Bad Boys 4 is supposed to come out this year as well.
Surprised it's not on that list.
Yeah, which I'm kind of like, they kind of used the perfect title for Bad Boys 4 in Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys 4 Life. They could have just put Bad Boys 4 Life. Now they're going to have to do like Bad Boys 4 Ever or something. I don't know. They're going to have to
life again.
Exactly. But I love Bad Boys 3. I thought very good. I was really surprised by how good Bad Boys 3 was. So let's get into it real quick. Elijah, what are your most anticipated movies of 2024?
Chainsaw Man, Bomb Devil Arc, and a untitled My Hero Academia movie.
Okay, so you got 2 anime movies.
And then I got to double check real fast.
Should have had this prepared.
I know, Madam Web. I know that's not what you're expecting to hear.
I hear the crickets.
I think you're like the only person in the world excited for that movie, but that's cool.
I mean, I like Dakota Johnson, but still.
Sony, here is your guy.
He's there you go. We
excited for Madam Web.
You're going to get your quote on a poster.
I would have been excited for that.
I am kind of shocked, to be honest with you, even with the Deadpool movie coming out.
Hey, Deadpool is good. I will not deny
that. Give me some Madam Web.
Something new.
Madam Web.
Wow. She doesn't strip down like Shades of Grey. So.
Oh yeah.
I've never even watched that, so I don't care.
Madam Web. Okay. I'm getting my mind around that my own child just said that, but it's okay. You know what? Everyone has entitled to their opinions.
We'll edit around this.
Yeah, I think we're done, guys. Podcast is over forever.
You have
on our socials. We'll start something new.
All right. Okay. Jason, we'll go next to you. What are your top 3 most anticipated movies this year?
Ooh, top 3. Let's see. That's going to be number 3 is going to be, I believe it comes out this year, is Ghostbusters Frozen.
Yeah, that was one that, yep.
Yeah. I love that Ghostbusters Afterlife. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see where that goes. I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. Number 2 is going to be Kong X Godzilla, just because I want to see what that Scar King's all about. I mean, we got another
freaking going to wreak havoc.
We got another King Kong, an evil King Kong, like
a little Diddy Kong.
Diddy, yeah. Oh, that little tiny one.
Yeah, the little Diddy.
This one's the one that killed all of Kong's family and Godzilla's.
Yeah, so I really hope we get that scene in there. And then number 1, of course, is Deadpool, with Wolverine with that yellow suit. I mean, how could it not be number 1?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Christian, can I guess your number 1? Actually, do your top two. Do from 3 down. Then I'm gonna guess your number 1, but I think I know what it might be.
Okay, so number 3 is ISS. That trailer, man, blew my mind. It's crazy. So I'm really excited for that. I wanted to put that Kristen Stewart movie too because that trailer also looks incredible. I'm not gonna put that. Doom 2 is my number 2, and you can guess what my number 1 is.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay, I thought Dune 2 was gonna be your number 1.
It's Madam Web, right?
It's Madam Web. I see, Eli. You're not alone. Okay, I got to talk about this really quick because I have a hot take on this. It's Deadpool 2. Now, here's Deadpool 3. Sorry. My hot take about this is I don't think this. Eli, you're gonna let's fight. I don't think this is a good idea. Now, I know everybody is happy that we're getting Hugh Jackman, but here's the thing. I thought we were taking a break from the Fox X-Men stuff so we can wipe everything clean and we can get a new X-Men. So for us to bring back the goddamn Fox X-Men one more time, it's like, okay, so how much longer until we get our goddamn MCU X-Men? Like this, it just really feels self-indulgent. It just feels really self-indulgent. It's like, okay, we got Deadpool now here at the MCU. We got Ryan, and Ryan's like, guys, I want to do this thing. And they're like, but we had this plan, but you got to let me do this thing. And they're like, fine, you can do this thing that you really want to do.
You can't stop Deadpool.
Yeah, but you're doing this at the cost of like the bigger picture. You know what I mean? Like the single Deadpool movie over the entire X-Men franchise. Like, let's squeeze in everybody one more time, I guess. I say that, and that's still at the number 1 by one thing I want to see. I still think this is, if it was up to me, I probably would have said no to this. But good thing it's not up to me because we get to see Hugh Jackman. This is something that Fox should have did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, not MCU. So that's it. Whatever. That's all. That's my take. But it's still my number 1.
100%. And I totally forgot about ISS. Ariana DeBose is incredible. And I actually am very excited for that as well. That's an honorable mention for me for sure. So my number 3 pick for this year is going to be Nosferatu. I love.
Wait, no, Original Vamp.
What's that?
Original Vamp.
Yeah. I love David Eggers. I think he's fantastic. I think I've loved every single one of his movies, even though I will admit we have not watched The Northman yet. The Northman is the one that slipped under the radar, but him returning to this kind of horror is what I'm looking for, right? Like I like it, The Witch to me is one of the scariest movies of the past decade, like easily eerie, like it's absolutely terrifying, and it's not one of those like in your face terrifying. It's one that just lingers and like
it's like gorgeous.
It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. Like you just watch the camera move through the trees and stuff, but like there's something in the trees and you're not sure what, and the Black Phillip stuff and everything like that. Incredible. So seeing him return to horror in a remake like this, just super exciting. And The Lighthouse, I love The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was absolutely incredible. So I cannot wait to see his take on this property. Very, very excited for that. Number 2 and number 1 are Madam Web.
I'm never going to hear the end of this.
My number 2 is actually Alien Romulus, which I am very, very excited about. So I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a huge fan of Prometheus. I have not been a huge fan of any of the Alien movies past Alien 2. Like, not going to lie. Like, I like the franchise and I think it's cool seeing the xenomorphs and stuff, but it's not something that I particularly love. The whole franchise 1 and 2 are just classics.
What about Alien 2016?
What?
Or Alien, the one that came out recently or newer?
Yeah, no, I was talking about that one, Alien Covenant. I haven't watched that either. But like, no, I Prometheus, I didn't care for. I did watch it, and then there was Alien Covenant, which I haven't got around to because I wasn't super excited for it. This one's directed by Fede Alvarez, who also did the Evil Dead remake, and he did What's it called? What's that movie called?
Breathe.
Don't Breathe. He did Don't Breathe.
Is there a trailer out for this? Or has this just been announced?
Not yet. It's just going to be coming out this year. I have faith in him. I think he's going to do a really good job. And from what I've heard and from his sensibilities, he's going to take it back to the first one, which is just old school, just horror. Like, I want to see an alien horror movie again. The first movie is still terrifying. Like, it's a horror movie.
I want to see something pop out of a guy's chest again.
There will be an Alien 2. Obviously, James Cameron, like, he did amazing with that. So I'm excited to see this go back to its roots, and I hope that's what Fede Alvarez does with this, with Alien Romulus. And of course, my number one, Deadpool 3. But Christian, I have the same concerns you have with it. I also have the concerns that it's going to turn into a multiverse of madness.
I'm so sick of multiverse stuff.
Just a cameo of characters like, hey, you remember this person, let's bring them in, let's do something funny with them, except with like the Fox universe.
Can we just organize a huge meeting between all the studio heads in Hollywood? Can we just never ever do multiverse stuff ever again? I'm so fucking tired of multiverse stuff.
It's Madam Web of madness now.
Yeah, right.
And it's just like it's like they made this roadmap for the next 20 years, and it's all multiverse. And it's just like, God, we can't get out of this now. It's like I don't know. I know it's fun because we get to throw in all this stuff, but it also feels like just like a too convenient for me. Like, oh, multiverse, like.
Yeah, I don't think, I think I do have really, really big like all the stuff you mentioned. There's a bunch of red flags for this movie and why I should not want to see it. But it's Deadpool.
But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
And it's the only MCU. It's the only MCU movie this year.
I'm sure it's going to be fun, and like, hopefully that can bring that, like, because I sometimes get nostalgic of like 2019 or like 2018 when MCU was like just, you know what I mean? And now it's like, like, man.
Yeah, and it's the bummer is it's not directed by this it's directed by Sean Levy this time, which is going to be an interesting. Sean Levy normally does pretty good. He works really well with Ryan Reynolds. He's a Free Guy, and he did the Adam Project, which I really like too.
Ooh, that was a good
I think this might be. I don't want to quote me on this, but like I think this might be his first rated R movie. He did he's done some Stranger Things. Real Steel, I thought was amazing, to be honest. I actually really love Real Steel.
Real Steel.
I love that.
The one with the robots, right?
Dude, Hugh Jackman. So he's working with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman again. I didn't even think about the Hugh Jackman connection there.
I also want to I don't know where those betting sites are, like those Vegas betting sites are, but like how many of Ryan Reynolds ads are we going to see in Deadpool 3? Are we going to see some Aviation Gin ads or
100%.
some Mint Mobile ads somehow?
Probably not Mint Mobile, but we'll probably see Deadpool like sipping on some Aviation Gin or something.
This is also a good, like, this is where I do not want Kevin Feige or the MCU in general to get involved too much. Like, just be like, you guys just do your thing. And I'm hoping that they're just like, you guys can have all these characters, do whatever you want with these characters and go for it if you want. Like, do whatever you need to do. I'm so sick of studios interfering. Let the artists come out with their cool stuff.
I know that we talked about it a couple minutes ago, but I'm okay if they do like one or two of the cameos like they did in I'm pretty sure
Madam Web will show up.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I know, keep asking Eli about Madam Web. You'll see Madam Web, don't worry.
No.
She'll show up in all the movies.
What's her name? Sydney Sweeney? Is that her name? I think that's her name.
I
don't even know who that is.
Oh, you'll know.
I don't even know that she's the blonde one.
Oh boy.
Totally not. But no, I get what you're saying. I know.
Like in Deadpool 2, like they had Beast there for like a couple of seconds just to kind of annoy Deadpool.
Yeah, that stuff could be fun. That stuff could be funny. Anthony Blanco, what's up, man? Happy New Year. I hope you have a happy New Year too, and happy 2024. Were there any kind of honorable mentions you guys want to bring up? Like I said, I did bring up ISS and Bad Boys 4. I'm legitimately super excited for, since the guys who directed that, their Batgirl movie got completely scrapped. So let's give them some love and go watch Bad Boys 4 because they worked really hard on that. Does Sonic 3 come out this year?
Is that
apparently so?
Ooh. So there was like a little pop-up thing here in Chino Hills for like Sonic. The Sonic, I don't know. They were doing this big promo thing, dude. It's a good thing you didn't, because my friend went to it. They stood in line for 5.5 hours to get in. They finally get in. It's a bunch of merch that they're only showing, but you cannot buy that in the store. They're like, here, you can look at it, but you have to go online and buy it. And then they were doing chicken fingers and like I don't know, it's like that, and like hot dogs, and it was like a 5-hour line for that. So you didn't get any merch. You know what I mean? The food was really bad, and then I was like, oh, that sucks, dude.
Shit.
And I know how those pop-up things tend to go because Dana's done like brand ambassadoring, and if it's not a good crew, I can imagine like how bad of an event that might have been. But the kids had fun apparently, so I know. Matt, I'm sorry you had a terrible time, but I'm glad that your son had a great time. So
yeah, that's what counts. That's what
yeah,
counts.
really.
Looking at all the merch.
Yeah, look exactly. What the hell?
It's like most kids though, right? They can look, but they can't touch. They can't buy because the parents don't want to buy.
The parents say no.
Yeah, that's why you bought a sword at Disney World.
I did buy a sword at Disney World because I never got one as a kid, and I went to Disney World as an adult, and I had adult money, and I was like, I'm going to buy my sword, so I bought myself a jacket. Well, it's
that's going to be my reasoning when I go to Epcot when I'm older.
They ship it to you, right? Or do you get to walk around with it?
Oh, it's not a real. So it's one of those Disney pirate swords.
Oh, sweet.
That's still awesome. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought because there used to be that sword shop. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's at Epcot now.
Oh yeah. They have a Japanese in the Japanese area at Epcot. They have a whole like sword store.
They have a
like
wall.
it's insane.
Katana. Oh my god.
Like this is the only part I'd not really like. I wish it just said like Pirates of the Caribbean or something. I like Jack Sparrow, but yeah. So I bought the sword, but it does have this guy, the little Pirates of the Caribbean logo. So I was walking around all day with it, all happy, smiling, with my Mickey ears on, probably. I don't care. I'm a grown man. I can do what I want.
I like buying swords at Disneyland too. But
I can see that.
See, that's awesome. That's very cool.
I'm willing to spend hundreds of dollars to get both sides of Cal Kestis's lightsaber just so I can do the double-sided.
Yeah, no, that'd be.
You would. I will tell you this right now, and like if you're listening to this, I've lost all of you. Eli, if you want to buy the Cal Kestis one, look over the custom ones online. The Disney one, I have the Disney one. It's huge. It's way too big. It's like oversized.
Well, no, it's not oversized. It's canonically accurate.
Well, we need to go to the.
No, it's not. It's way too thick.
We need to go to the lightsaber store here.
There is?
The one in Portland that we're always talking about. The one in Oregon City. The ones that we see at Comic-Con all the time. Yeah, there's this lightsaber store over in Oregon City around here. They'll go to all the Comic-Cons up here, and their lightsabers are like
legit. Yeah, so these Disney ones are great, but like compared to the ones that the custom ones online, they're like these look these are cheaper. They look fantastic, but the ones online cost way more. But like, oh my god, they're incredible. Like, like the technology that they put. Like this is like. It lags, the light's not as bright, but if you want, if you have the money to, you go online. Anyway, sorry.
Absolutely. No, you're good. Well, that's it, guys. That's our show. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you all for tuning in. It was really fun. Let us know what things you guys are excited for in 2024. Movies, TV shows, whatever it is. Let us know. We'd love to hear. Next week, we got Brick Therapy coming up. We're going to be talking Lego. A lot of cool Lego stuff came out. I picked up a couple sets I'm very excited about.
You got a pretty cool one for Christmas too, didn't you?
I did. Here's a sneak peek at it before we do it for next week. That's just a small part of it.
That reminds me. I'm working on a Steamboat Mickey
horror film.
Horror film.
We didn't even talk about that. We didn't even talk about Mickey Mouse going into public domain.
Full feature. It's heavily pornographic. This is all the plan.
Yeah, there's a video game coming out too. A couple video games coming out. That went wild really fast. I don't know, guys. We'll have to talk.
He's also going to be the official Pastrami Nation mascot.
Oh yeah, Steamboat Willie is now the official mascot of Pastrami Nation.
Steamboat Willie eating a pastrami sandwich.
That's actually not a bad idea. You guys are artists. Let's get on.
I know. That's like a 10-minute drive right there. Real quick.
Well, thank you guys very much for checking us out. Make sure to still like and subscribe and send us to your friends. Let them know we exist. Let them know we're here, and let them know we want to talk to them. So send them our way, unless they're mean or like. We don't want to talk about
unless they don't like us.
Unless they don't like us,
then we're gonna have a problem.
No, it's all right.
Meet me over there.
Right, exactly. You can find Jason on MySpace and Friendster. Christian, where can they find you at?
You can find me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, Christian Nacorda. Let's draw.
Cool. You can find me, Kevin Hoskinson, or Kevin_Hoskinson on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all that fun stuff. I don't draw, but you can still come and hang out. We're still
Lego
cool.
stuff. He does really cool Lego stuff.
I do Lego stuff. I'm not sure.
He
really
builds a few of them here and there.
Yeah, build
You
a few of
undersell
them here to
yourself.
there. Yeah, thank you guys for checking out the show once again, and hope you guys have a good night. Have a happy New Year, and let's all support Madam Web. Let's go out there. Let's give her all of our money.
I will never hear the end of this.
Opening night, like we're there.
Opening
Sydney
night, we're all-
Sweeney is the blonde one, but
Yeah,
in the
I'm flying
movie,
to
I think
Oregon
it's
for this.
brown. Her hair is brown, I think.
100%. Well, you
She
guys.
was also in White Lotus. Eli, have you seen White Lotus? You should probably watch that one too. I think.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll love White Lotus and
Mhm.
Euphoria.
Euphoria.
I'm
There's
not-
also that new movie that she did with the Top Gun guy.
Oh yeah, the rom com. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like
Check that out.
rom-coms.
I'll take you to see it this weekend. We'll,
No,
we'll
thank
go.
you.
We'll have a fun. We'll have a fun guy.
Get y'all
day.
hyped up for
I'm
Yeah.
Madam
sure
Web.
I said it.
All right, you guys. Have a good night. We'll see you all later. Bye bye.
Take care, guys.